Hey y'all, and welcome back to Getting Digital with Deja. This video is for you if one, you've already educated yourself on trading, you learned the market, and you have a demo account and you feel very comfortable with trading, but you just have a little bit of money to work with, but you still feel comfortable with, finally getting into the trading market. This video is for you. And then two, this video is also for you if you haven't really educated yourself, or maybe you're in the process of educating yourself, but you're like really tired of the day-to-day or the 9 to 5, and you just really want to just jump in and learn from your mistakes because you just don't really have the time to be trying to learn the market like that. You want to learn as you go. This video is also for you. Personally, I was a mixture of both. I did take time to learn the market, but I did jump in super early, lost a lot of money, but I did learn a lot of things along the way. So it's really about how your learning style is on when you should be starting trading. But let's go ahead and hop into how you can trade with a small account. Okay, so there's many different markets that you can trade. There's futures, crypto, stocks, forex, things like that. But the most, I would say, budget friendly and you can get the most bang for your buck market would be futures. I studied futures, I traded futures, I loved futures. I actually had a job reporting on futures. That's how I even got started with the market in the first place. But I didn't stick to futures. Okay, that's beyond the scope of this video. Futures is essentially, summarizing it, contracts where you trade like commodities like corn, oil, liquid gas, all type of stuff, anything you can really think of in the commodity industry. But the really cool thing about futures is they have micro futures, so micro contracts, which essentially is 1/10 the size of the regular size of a futures contract. So this is amazing for beginners. It's amazing for your pockets, and it's amazing for you to be able to test your strategies. You're not putting a lot of risk on your trades because, again, it's a micro futures contract, so it's 1/10 of what you would usually be risking. And so it's good for you to test out your strategies, but still be able to make money. And if you lose, you could have major losses, don't get me wrong, but because it's such a small amount, the losses may not be as major as it would be if you were trading a full futures contract. And there's also a lot of brokerages and platforms out there like Binance and things like that where you can open an account and trade with something as low as $100 with the micro futures contracts. It's not recommended because your risk management, it's really hard to have risk management when you have $100, you know what I mean? But they usually kind of say $500 to $3,000 is a really good start to futures. Granted, if you don't have $500, you can still start with a smaller account. It's just going to be a lot riskier. Your trades, you could kind of lose everything if you don't play your cards right. But it's really good because at least you're risking $500 and not $2,000, which is where stock options come into play. So we talked about a lot of pros on futures contracts and trading micro futures, but one of the biggest cons to trading micro futures is that you're going to have to roll over your position for it to stay relevant and kind of like in the money. And rolling over your position basically means closing out your current position and opening a new position. Now, depending on what type of person you are, that might be okay with you. But for me, I don't like closing out a position and opening a new position, because sometimes when you close out a position, you might have to pay a little bit more to open a new position because the prices are different and they fluctuated since the time that you opened your position. Or it could be different. It might be lower. It's just like, it's really risky. And it's just like, once I'm in a trade, I want to stay in it. I don't want to have to worry about closing it and getting back in it. That's just me. But if you don't mind doing that, then have at it, my boy or my girl, non-binary. Okay, so the second market that you can hop into with a small account and still make some really good money is Forex or FX. Now, I do have a video explaining everything about Forex because I went to the Forex convention in Dubai earlier this year. Okay, travel princess, and it was wonderful, and I learned so many things at that event. But essentially, Forex is you just trading currency pairs. So futures is trading commodities, Forex is trading currencies. So when it comes to small accounts, Forex is a lot like futures. And I say that because they have micro lots, okay? So micro lots are essentially just a smaller version of a full-size lot when you're trading Forex. So you can get started trading Forex with little as $100, but again, it is very risky because with $100, you can really easily blow your account. It's hard to have risk management with something as small as $100, but it's not impossible. It's very possible. Many people and testimonies that I have heard online have traded with something as small as $100, but that is because they learned the market, they studied the market, they did demo trading and things like that. So when they hopped into the market, they knew what they were doing and they knew how to risk their money wisely to be able to make the $100 kind of spread and like make more bang for their buck. So while it is very easy for you to hop into the Forex market with something starting as little as $100 or $200, $300, it's not the best in my opinion because there's so many cons that come with it. So the biggest con in my opinion is the profit that you can make off of such a small account. And essentially you make your money in Forex off of pip movements. So I went over that in my last video, go check it out. But let's say if your currency pair has 10 pip movements, with a micro lot you're going to make $1, okay? Because it's going to be like 10 cents a movement, if that makes sense. So you're gonna make $1. But with a full size lot for Forex, you would be making $10 for each pip move, which would equate to $100. So in a micro lot, you'll be making $1 on the same move. For a regular lot, you would be making $100. So you see the difference in the profit. It's quite major. So that con leads me into the next con that I have with Forex trading micro lots, is that you're going to overtrade and you're going to over leverage yourself, meaning that you saw a little bit of money coming in, you saw what the market is doing, you know that there's money that can be made, so you're going to keep opening positions and over trading yourself when that's not what you need to be doing, especially not as a beginner trader. I mean, over trading is probably one of the hardest things to overcome in your beginning stages of trading, because you see the money being made, you see what you can make, and you're like, I gotta make that and I need to make it right now. But that's not how it works. And another con with trading micro lots or just kind of Forex in general is because those currency pairs, they're highly volatile. Let's say if a news event or something comes out, it can dramatically change your price like that. I mean, I know options trading, they're heavily based on news and it can change the price pretty quickly, but it takes a little bit of time. But with Forex, it can change like that, and that causes slippage. So that's like the difference of what you expected to earn and what you actually ended up earning after you executed and things like that. And with micro lots, it's a lot of it is based on strategy, because it's such a small lot, you have to use a lot of strategy for it. So if you have a specific exit strategy and things like that, if you have a big news event that comes out and it kind of flips around the price of it and you try to still implement your same exit strategy, you can have slippage, which will have a negative impact on your trade and it will cut into your profits that you made. And remember, you're already not making a lot of profits, so something like slippage cutting into your profits, which is kind of like piss you off a little bit. Okay, so my absolute favorite market that you can trade with a small account still would be options trading. And just 1 second, guys. Fun fact about me is I love options trading because I actually went to Louisiana State University and I got a degree in political science with a minor in international diplomacy, and that has like helped me so much when trading options, because with stocks they're so heavily dependent on news and on politics and geopolitical issues that it just meshes together so well. Like, I just love it. Okay, it's just my market and that's what I chose to stick with. But let me tell you this. To get started with trading, options trading, I had to deposit $2,000 inside of my brokerage account, my IBKR account, which it sucked. That did suck. But it allowed me to learn the market a lot more before I just deposited that money, because I didn't just have $2,000 to put in the market, because I literally was like unemployed for a really long time. Now, that's if you want to trade regular stocks. Like, I necessarily trade Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, and ASTS, and with occasionally the SPY. But that's if you want to trade those kind of things. And those stocks are valued at like basically like $200 and up essentially. But if you still want to get into the game and you just don't have a lot of money, you can trade what they call penny stocks. Now, penny stocks are valued $5 or less. So the stock is like $5 or less essentially. So the biggest pro in my opinion to trading penny stocks is it's such a low barrier cost of entry, because the stock has to be $5 or less. Like, that's period. That's what a penny stock is. Now, if you find a stock that's doing really well or going in the direction that you want it to, and let's say it's $3, you can get the option to trade that stock for 10 cents, right? But then it would equal to $10 because you do 10 cents times 100, because one contract equals 100 shares. So 10 cents times 100 would give you $10. So you were just able to enter into a trade for $10. $10. Everything sugar ain't sweet. I don't even know if that's a saying, but in this case, everything sugar ain't sweet, because while it had such a low cost of barrier, there are a few cons to this. So one con to it is pattern day trading rules. So with that, you can only trade, I think I have 3 day trades in a matter of 5 business days, which sounds like, oh, that's a lot. Really, it's not a lot, especially if you're a beginner trader and you're trying to learn how to not over trade. That's not good. And if you violate that, the first time they give you a warning, and the second time they will close your account down for 90 days, or you have to deposit $25,000 into your account. So I say this from experience. I actually over traded myself because I was super pissed off on the trade. I actually have a whole video about that, and I'll leave the link below. But I was super pissed off that I lost a trade. And so I opened and closed like 3 trades in one day, and I got flagged for violating pattern day trading rules, and they actually closed my account for 7 days. I could not trade, could not make any money. All I could do was close my current positions that I had open. It was a very humbling experience. It made me really just sit back and think and just kind of like be like, damn, I really did that. But that's what happens when you're trading options. That's just like the reality of trading options. It don't matter if you're trading penny stocks or if you're trading Amazon. The rules, they apply to each part, honestly. So another thing about penny stocks that is like the biggest con that I've heard is that it's very volatile. So the prices can change dramatically in a matter of seconds, and it's very illiquid. So it's not trading at high volumes because it is penny stocks. So that means if someone in the market makes a really big trade deal, it can force the price really, really high or really, really low because there's not a lot of trading volume going on. And so that one trade really affected the market. And that could just really affect your pockets in a good way or in a bad way. It just depends on where your position is. To give a quick recap, we went over Forex, trading micro lots. We went over futures, trading micro contracts or micro futures. We went over stocks and trading penny stocks. I didn't go into trading crypto because I don't want to speak on crypto. I love crypto. Crypto's my baby, but personally, trading crypto is very risky, and I just don't recommend it for beginners. I just don't recommend it for beginners. So I didn't even include that in my video. But I really do hope that this video brought some clarity and some direction for people who are having smaller accounts, who want to get started with trading, whether you educated yourself already on the market or you didn't and you just kind of want to learn through your mistakes. This was the video for you, and I'm just really excited to see where you guys go, and I hope this information really points you in the right direction on what market that you want to go to. I will say, I started off in crypto, then went to Forex, then I went to futures, and then now I am in stock options, and I love it here. I'm staying here, I'm never leaving. But I just wanted to educate myself in all the different markets to be able to see which one was I really good at, which one did I feel comfortable with trading, and which one was I most profitable in. So I will say with crypto, I am more so of a crypto holder. I do heavy research in crypto, but I hold my crypto coins. I don't trade them. But with options, with stocks, I hold my stocks, a little bit of stocks, but I mostly trade my stocks. I only have a handful of stocks that I hold on to. But when it comes to futures and Forex, I don't dabble in those markets anymore. I'm just very, very highly intelligent in those markets, but I don't trade in those markets. Okay, you guys, so that's all I have for today. And on Friday, I will be going over trading earnings reports for the stock industry for options. So stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to remind you guys that pretty girls can do trading too. See you guys on Friday.